The Inspector and Silence by Håkan Nesser. Translated by Laurie Thompson and read by David Timson. Imagine a 12-year-old girl. Imagine her being attacked, raped, and murdered. Take your time. Then imagine God. M. Barron, poet. 1. 15th of July. Chapter 1. The girl in bed number 12 woke up early. A summer morning. The gentle light of dawn sneaked in through the inadequate curtains, started thawing out the night a bit at a time, levering up the darkness out of corners, prying into the other girls' innocent dreams, their contented sniffling. She lay there for a while, listening to them, trying to identify them. Katrina was lying on her back as usual, snoring gently through her open mouth. Belle was hissing like a snake. To her right, Marika was puffing away. One arm was dangling down by the side of the bed, and her mop of red hair was spread like a fan over her pillow. A drop of saliva trembled in the corner of her mouth. Perhaps she should creep over to her and use a corner of the sheet to wipe it away. But she desisted. She would have liked to tell Marika what she was going to do. Marika, if nobody else. Say something. Leave a message. Anything. But she still hadn't made up her mind the previous evening. She'd been humming and hawing. It wasn't an easy decision to take. She'd lain there brooding over it, tossing and turning and making the iron-framed bed groan and creak until well into the night. Both Marika and Ruth had wondered if she was ill, and Belle had begged her several times to stop making such a row. Belle was a bit of a pain, but her dad was a close friend of Jelinek's, so it was advisable to keep well in with her. That's what they said, at least. But then they said all kinds of things at the Valdingen camp. Anyway, she'd been tossing and turning. She'd no idea when she'd eventually fallen asleep, nor did she know what time it was now, but her body was telling her that she hadn't had all that much sleep. In any case, now the moment had arrived, and, well, she'd better get up. Her internal alarm clock had worked as it always did, but of course there was no reason why it should continue to keep her awake. No reason at all. She carefully folded back the heavy duvet and sat up, dug out her jeans, T-shirt and trainers from the bedside cupboard, and dressed quickly. Noticed that the pain in her stomach had returned, but brushed it to one side with the aid of her anger. Her anger and sense of justice. Scraped together the rest of her belongings in controlled haste. Not easy to find room for everything, but she managed it. Fastened her rucksack and crept out. The door creaked, as usual, as she opened it, and some of the steps sighed unhappily when she trod on them, but in less than half a minute she was outside. Scampered over the dew-laden grass and up towards the edge of the forest, stopping only when she had crossed over the little ridge and descended into the first of the hollows, out of sight from the buildings and out of reach. She paused for a while among the blueberry sprigs, shivering in what remained of the chilly night air, while she worked out points of the compass and directions. Noticed that her teeth were chattering. If she kept going straight ahead through the trees, she must, sooner or later, come to the road. She knew that. But it was a long way. Even if she managed to stick to a more or less straight line, it would take half an hour at the very least, and of course she couldn't be certain that she'd be able to avoid going round in circles. By no means certain. She had lived in cities all her life. Being close to nature among all these trees was not the environment she was used to. She was playing away from home, you might say. In normal circumstances she could have set a
Sample complete. Ready to continue?